The Apprentice. You are not a human being. You are a piece of furniture that breathes. You wake up at 4 a.m. every single day, but you do not grab a cool weapon. You grab a dirty toilet brush. Your entire life is scrubbing porcelain until it sparkles. You wash the boss's black car until you can see your own tired, sad face in the door handle. You run to the store to buy cigarettes for men who don't even know your name. You are a servant. You live in a tiny room with 5 other sweaty guys. It smells like old socks, bleach, and hopelessness. Your knees hurt from kneeling on hard wooden floors for hours. Your hands are dry and cracked from cheap soap. You are hungry all the time because you only eat after the older guys are done. If you leave a single spot of dirt on the floor, you get hit in the face. You don't fight back. You bow and say thank you for the punch. You are basically an unpaid intern for a crime club. You do the work that no one else wants to do. You make 0 yen. In fact, you are losing money just by being alive. You think you are tough, but right now, you are just a janitor with a bad haircut. You are waiting for a chance to prove you are useful. But scrubbing floors is a lovely vacation compared to the next rank, where you become a money machine that the police actually want to catch. You are dirt with a pulse. The Junior Leader. You are finally done scrubbing toilets, and you are now a younger brother. You get to wear a shiny cheap suit and sunglasses at night to look important. Your new job is simple, but very stressful. You are a money machine. You have to run card games, empty warehouses, and visit construction sites to make sure they use your company's trucks. If a rival gang tries to sell on your block, you chase them off. But here is the catch. The money is not yours. At the end of every week, you have to hand a big pile of cash to your boss. This is the tax. If you make 500,000 yen, you keep almost nothing. If you try to hide even 1 single yen, you are stealing from the family, and thieves get punished with broken fingers. You feel the weight of the cash in your pocket. It feels heavy and hot. Your polyester suit itches in the summer heat. You sweat constantly because you are always doing math in your head. You are a glorified delivery boy. You take all the risk, and the old men take all the reward. The police know your face now. If a fight breaks out, you are the one who goes to jail while the bosses stay home and drink tea. You are earning respect, but respect does not pay the rent. You better hope you get promoted before you meet the next guy, who has survived prison and carries a metal pipe for a living. Money flows up, never down. The Younger Brother. You are not running around the streets anymore. You are a mentor. You probably spent 3 years in prison to get this seat. You sat in a cold concrete box and never told the police a single thing. You proved you were loyal. Now, you are like an uncle to the new recruits. You teach them the rules. You show them how to bow correctly and how to scare a shop owner without shouting. You have your own little territory now. Maybe it is a row of bars or a few loud game rooms. The junior leaders bring the money to you. You count it, keep a small cut, and pass the rest of the ladder. You feel powerful. You sit in a nice chair while others stand, but you are still a soldier. When a war starts, the boss does not call a lawyer. He calls you. You have to remind everyone who is in charge. You grab a heavy metal pipe and gather your toughest guys. You feel the adrenaline in your stomach, cold and sharp. You know that tonight, someone might get a canceled contract. You are respected, but you are still the one doing the dirty work. You are middle management with a criminal record. But this violence is simple compared to the next rank, where you trade your weapon for a spreadsheet and become a corporate ghost. Loyalty is just a trap. The Deputy. You have traded your baseball bat for a laptop. You do not fight in dark alleys anymore. You work in a cramped office that smells like stale coffee and anxiety. You realize now that the family is actually just a big, boring business. You manage the front companies. To the public, you run a legitimate trucking company or a waste disposal firm. But you know these are just huge washing machines used to clean the dirty money. You are also the travel agent for the boss. When he needs to go to a funeral, you plan the route 3 days in advance. You decide which armored cars to use. You decide exactly where the bodyguards stand. You carry 2 cell phones in your pocket. One is for real work, and one is for family work. You never mix them up. If you send a text to the wrong person, you could go to jail, or worse. You spend hours looking at spreadsheets until your eyes burn. If everything goes right, nobody notices you. But if the boss is 5 minutes late, it is your fault. You handle the logistics. You make sure the machine keeps running. You are a boring office worker, but your mistakes don't get you fired. They get you a permanent nap. You think your job is high pressure, but you have no idea what stress is until you meet the man who has to destroy the evidence before the cops kick down the door. You are a disposable calculator. The Deputy Headquarters Chief. You are not a warrior. You are a professional eraser. You run the main office where the real dark magic happens. You do not manage trucks or money. You manage secrets. You are the firewall between the crime and the king. When a soldier gets arrested, you don't panic. You pick up the red phone on your desk. You send a team of expensive lawyers to the police station to get him out before he says a single word. You are the family's compliance officer. Your job is to make sure the boss never sees the inside of a courtroom. You spend your days destroying evidence. You burn handwritten notes in a metal trash can until your office smells like smoke. You wipe computer hard drives until they are blank slates. You make sure the paper trail ends with you. The office is quiet, but the silence feels heavy, like a bomb waiting to go off. You are the gatekeeper. No one gets to see the top bosses unless they go through you first. You check them for wires. You check them for weapons. You are paranoid because you have to be. You are the reason the police cannot find the smoking gun. You are important, but you are also invisible. If you do your job right, history will never know you existed. But playing defense is boring compared to the next monster, who stands on a balcony and commands an entire army to swallow cities whole. You are a shredder with legs. The Underboss Aide. You stand on a high balcony, looking down at the city lights like you own them. You are finally at the edge of the inner circle. You work directly for the number 2 man in the entire organization. He runs the war, and you are his general. You control a whole region of the map. You have 5 or 6 crews working under you. They bring you the money, and you pass it up the chain. Your main job is to make the family bigger. You look at a map. You see a port city run by a smaller, weaker gang. You want it. But you don't just send in guys with sticks. You are smarter now. You send in businessmen. You buy the buildings where the rival gang works. You buy their debts. You squeeze them slowly until they can't breathe. Then you invite their leader to tea. You smile and tell him to join you or disappear. You drive a foreign luxury car. You wear suits that cost more than your first apartment. You feel the leather of the steering wheel, smooth and expensive. But you have to be careful. The underboss is watching you closely. If you get too popular, or if you make too much money, he might think you want his job. You have to shine, but not too bright. You are a warlord, but you are still on a leash. And your business deals are cute, but they are nothing compared to the next man, who sits in a dark room and plays chess with human lives. Success is a dangerous target. The operations chief. On the table in front of you, there is a map of the city and 3 black pistols. They are clean. This means they have never been used in a crime before. You are the one who decides who stops breathing. The time for talking is over. A rival group has crossed the line, and now you have to push them back. You do not pull the trigger anymore. You are too valuable for that. You are the one who gives the order. 3 young men stand in front of you. They look nervous. You hand them the weapons and a photo of a man eating dinner. You tell them, go. You sit in a dark room, smelling of old cigarettes and cold coffee. You turn on a police radio. You wait for the static to turn into shouting. You hear, shots fired in Kabukicho, Block 2. You look at your watch. Your guys have 3 minutes to run away before the police seal the district. Your phone buzzes. We are stuck, your team leader whispers. A police car is blocking the Shinjuku crossing. You have to think fast. You order them to ditch the car and run through the subway tunnel. You call another crew to start a bar fight across town as a distraction. You don't sleep for 3 days. You drink black coffee and smoke until your throat hurts. It is brutal work. You view your own men as ammo, but you are just a tool for the man above you, who is willing to go to prison for 10 years just to keep the boss safe. You sell death wholesale. The underboss. You walk into a boardroom and 20 men in expensive suits stand up instantly. They bow low and do not move until you sit down. You are the number 2. The boss is the king, but you are the prime minister. You run the daily business. You are the CEO of a multi-billion yen criminal empire. You look at the papers on the table. The construction crews in the north are short on money. The gambling dens in the south are making excuses. You do not accept excuses. You pick up a heavy glass ashtray and throw it against the wall. You tell them to fix it, or you will find someone who can. The men scramble to make phone calls. They fear you more than they fear the police. You control the money. You choose which politicians get donations. You decide which buildings get built. You manage hundreds of crews across the country. But your most important job is to be a shield. The police are desperate to catch the supreme boss. They want to put him in handcuffs for the evening news. You stand in their way. If the police find proof of a crime, you step forward. You say, I did it. You take the blame. You go to court. You go to prison for 10 years so the father can stay free. You do this without blinking. You have money, power, and respect. But you are really just a very expensive scapegoat waiting for a cage. But your cage is nothing compared to the ultimate prison built around the man at the very top. You are a human shield. The Supreme Boss. You are the most powerful prisoner in the world. 20 men are kneeling on the floor mats in front of you. Their heads touch the ground. They do not dare to look you in the eye. You made it. You are the father. You are the head of the dragon. You are a ghost now. You never touch a single yen note from a deal. You have 10 layers of people standing between you and the crime. You do not need to shout to be heard. You whisper an order to your underboss, and 3 days later, a rival gang disappears. You meet with the heads of other great families. You look at a map of the country and slice it up like a cake. You decide who gets to eat and who starves. But you have no peace. You cannot trust anyone. Your best friend wants your job. The police have a special team whose only job is to put you in a box. You cannot walk to the park. You cannot go to the grocery store to buy milk. You live in a big house with high walls and security cameras. You watch the garden from behind thick glass. There is no retirement plan. You don't get to quit and play golf. You will stay on this throne until your heart stops or someone stops it for you. You chose this life, and now it owns you completely. You have total control, yet you are not free to leave your own house. Your body is not yours.